Um, Hi, good morning, everyone. So before we start this session, I would like to know about everyone who have joined. Uh, like hope I'm audible, guys.
Yes, you are.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, so before we begin, I would like to know your name and your background, like from your experience and what exactly you're looking from this course. So to begin with, um, about me, I have a total of 15 years of experience into this domain. Previously, I worked a couple of organizations, and my roles were mostly release engineer, platform engineer, and DevOps. So as of now, currently, I'm working as an site reliability lead in one of the healthcare organization. And yeah, wherein mostly we implement all the SRE principles, and we implement the SRE principles. And yeah, in our day-to-day activities, we try to whatever the products that we have. So we are mostly looking to configuring those and applying the SRE principles to those products and try to implement them. So before we begin, if you could help me with your experience, if you have any experience with the DevOps or whatever your background is, uh, yeah, I would like to know about it. Thank you.
You guys can drop text in the
Yeah,
group
you
now.
can use the
So
text
yeah,
chat box and
and those who get an idea about that, just drop a text in that. Okay.
okay. Yeah, I could see a couple of members like mostly they are from the DevOps and Java development background. Okay, 10 plus years experience into data analytics. Okay, platform engineer, cloud operations. Okay, Azure platform and DevOps. 8 years into infra. Okay, risk analysis. Okay, thank you. Sure. Uh, mm-hmm. 3 plus years into DevOps. 4.5 into SRE. Okay, fine company. AWS DevOps. Okay. Fair enough, guys. I think I could see most of the members are, planning to uh, transit their career from DevOps to SRE, and yeah, I could see some experiences from the Java development background also. Yeah, so let me quickly share my screen, and we'll okay, 4 plus year into Linux and production support, and working at SRE and DevOps. Okay, fine. Mm, okay. Okay, thank you everyone. So let me quickly share my screen and we'll start with the today's agenda and yeah, our 6 weeks plan that we will be planning to, completely how the things are implemented in SRE And yeah, let me. Okay, 6 years experience into cloud engineering. Okay, fair enough. So let me share my screen.
Yes, sir. Do you want to say something? Mhm.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Sir. Mhm.
Yeah. Hi, Shubham and Santosh. Sorry to interrupt. Actually, I got this link in the WhatsApp, so I joined. I don't have any knowledge on this meeting. Can I know the agenda and what is SRE? Even I don't know SRE.
Sure,
You will
Sharad.
get to know. Listen the
Yeah,
record. Listen this. When we start, you'll get to know. Okay.
Okay,
So
sure.
mostly
Yeah.
this is for experienced people, someone who is targeting for the SRE, and also like someone having a little bit of knowledge of DevOps. They can able to connect all the dots. So it's just we are here to have a 10 weeks of 6 weeks of program with a mock interview to crack the people into the SRE. Mhm.
Okay. SRE means site reliability engineering. Okay, I got
yeah,
it.
yeah.
Yeah, thank you.
No worries. Guys, hope my screen is visible to you. Please confirm.
Yes, you.
Yeah, thank you. Uh, yeah. So again, like just a 2 minute intro about myself. So my name is Santosh, and I'm having total around 15 plus years of experience into this domain, and I'm currently working as an lead site reliability engineer. Yeah, so every topic that we will be discussing in this bootcamp sessions. So this is something that I have worked on, and I have worked on troubleshooted the issues and couple of things that we have automated in my organizations and implementing the SRE culture. So yeah, those things we will be discussing in this bootcamp. So this will help you guys, to have a real time experience how the SRE principles are implemented in your organizations, and this will help you, to when you begin start preparing for the interviews, and the interviews mostly look into the experience into the real time experience, real time issues, the real time production issues where you have implemented the site reliability principles. So those all knowledge will be discussed in this bootcamp session. Okay. Okay. Regarding my background, I have worked on a couple of organizations in past. So worked with Barclays, HSBC, N10, and currently working with one of the healthcare organizations, which is in US. So it's a tier one mobile platform application. So where most of our customers are from the US, and it's a healthcare organizations here. Reliability isn't an kind of optional thing. It's a mandatory thing. Your application cannot be down more than a given SLA, and it's kind of health data. And yeah, strict compliance and zero tolerance for the downtime. Of whenever we notice any kind of issues in such applications, it's a kind of straight away P01 kind of incident. So reliability is our main uh, target, and we try to maintain our whatever the reliability that we set, and that includes the availability as well. Currently, I lead a team of eight SRE engineers. So earlier, when I joined the organization, there were four with, and as of now, we have 8 members, and with zero attrition rate. ratio from the 18 months. Apart from this one, apart from my day-to-day activities, I conduct technical interviews, mock interviews, and I mostly work through the portals like HirePro, Curatel, RiseBuds, and their clients are like KPMG, Cognizant, Mindtree, Accenture. So mostly we perform the screening round whenever there are some vacancies for the SRE role, junior SRE, senior. So all these profiles, first they have to go through the um, screening rounds. So usually these portals like HirePro, Curators, they provide the platform to conduct such sessions. So uh, I usually conduct the interviews, technical rounds. The first round of the interview where we usually check the background of the candidate and is the experience into the real experience into the SRE. And based on our feedback, the further round will be scheduled. So yeah, I parallelly work with these companies, and that's my weekend plan. Actually, whenever I get time on the weekend, I usually conduct the interviews. I conduct the mock interviews. So definitely, this experience will help you to prepare while performing the mock interviews and when you appear for the real interviews. So definitely the discussions that we will be having in this bootcamp sessions, that is going to help you, because the same sessions, same type of questions will be asked in the interview whenever you apply for any SRE role. So yeah, and yeah, regarding the numbers that I have worked on, like the reliability part that I have implement. So some of the numbers. So yeah, 99% of the certificate things that we had in past. So earlier we had a complete certificate renewal activities in my previous organization, and it used to consume full three-time engineers work. So now it's kind of a almost like we have reduced it to 0.2%, like a 20 minutes job for a one person, and that is 1 week performance. So that is nothing but nothing but a toil engineering that we'll be discussing in this today's session. Regarding the MTTR, that we have reduced the MTTR, overall MTTR, from 90 minutes to 55 minutes. So again, we will be discussing that in week 4 session. So how this MTTR can be improved. Mean time to resolve whenever there is a P01 or severity 1 related issues. We will be discussing about how we can improvise the MTTR and how your organization uh, you need to go through this MTTR. We will be providing the some of the practical examples. We will be discussing about how MTTR can be improved within your organization. Yeah, and as a part of the practice sessions, you will have to come up with the real-time scenarios from your organizations where you have gone through any severity 1 related or severity 2 incident where the overall incident resolution time has taken, let's say, more than 2 hours. And if you see that there is a scope that can be improved and we can reduce the incident resolution time from 2 hours to, let's say, 1 hour or 45 minutes. So that is nothing but the MTTR. So we will be discussing that in the week 4. Uh, and coming to the incident part, almost like we have reduced uh, the incident count to 60%. So yeah, again, the incident management process, it is nothing but an SLO. So we will be discussing about what is service level objectives and how to set up the proper alerting and how that helps us to reduce the overall incident count. Yeah, currently, as you know, I'm working with one of the organization, and mostly I'm leading a mobile application, and where the mobile application's health is determined with the crash free sessions. So when you launch any app from your mobile, we need to make sure that your app doesn't get crash, right? So that is the one tier one thing that we aim for. And as of now, we are maintaining the 99.5% of the availability or the crash free sessions for our application. So to explain you, like the point behind explaining all these numbers is like every numbers you can see here. is nothing but the SRE. Okay, over the next 6 weeks, we will be discussing on what exactly, how exactly you have to build these numbers, and whenever you go for any interviews, mostly they will ask all this just kind of the interview questions will be on this only. If you have implemented any, any, have you reduced any kind of toil? If you have improved any MTTR in your application. So all these things we will be discussing in the next 6 weeks. And yeah, this is the real reliability work that you need to explain, and you need to update your resume based on the reliability task that you can do it in your organization. And based on that, you can apply for the SRE interviews, guys.
Hi Santosh, sorry to interrupt you. I'm not able to see your screen. Is anyone facing the same issue?
No, no, it's visible.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
Let
you,
me.
you can rejoin. Try to.
Yeah.
Sorry, Santosh, Anirudh here.
Yeah, tell me.
Yes, we can able to see your screen, but there is a Google pop-up. I can see from the Met, so you can maybe some drop down there, or maybe minimize that window.
Let me see
Okay.
that.
So just cross it out. If there is a cross option is there, just Google Meet at top right, you will see the cross option. This
Okay.
Google pop-up, like while sharing the screen, you will see there is a pop-up is there.
Oh, this pop-up. Okay,
Just,
okay.
yeah. Just
Let me see.
cross it.
Cross it. Okay.
Cross. Yeah. Good.
Okay. Sorry. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, we are good now.
Yep. Thank you.
So that's one thing I want to add. You help them to, like they will have one session as well where they will work on the LinkedIn, just resume part as well. What all best they can able to add in the resume so that their profile get focuses for the SRE part.
Absolutely.
After what, like,
Yep. So we will be working on that part as well, guys. We will make sure our resume is ATS friendly. Will what the HRs actually look for whenever they go for the SRE candidates, and what exactly the details that we need to update in our resume. So those all these things we will be discussing in our session. Yeah. Yeah. This is about my daily stack, like what we usually, how my day starts with. Like it's the same like how most of our DevOps engineers usually start with the platforms like uh, Kubernetes, OpenShift, AWS, and some of the deployment CI/CD pipeline, GitLab, Terraform. Yeah, usually it's the same stack that we have for the DevOps, but yeah, mostly when it comes to the SRE part, we mostly focus on some of the observability, incident, and yeah, all of these sessions, all of these tools are important, but yeah, depend upon the priority and the alerting that you are planning to set up in your organization. So yeah, based on that, we need to work on these tools, guys. Yeah, and yeah, this is regarding the sessions that we will be discussing the journey, and uh, this is our plan over the next 6 weeks. So week one, we will be working. We will be mostly. We will start with the foundation. You will get to know about the SRE principles and the SRE language that we discussed. Like it's about SLOs, service level objectives, error budgets, toil. So without these weak ones, we we won't be able to uh, discuss anything further, because this is the main core principle that we are planning to build. And yeah, for the next for the week two, once these sessions are over, we will be working on measuring the things. So you need to start you have to build your SLOs, and you have to start building the real metrics, real alerts. Okay. Week three, we will dig deeper. We will look into the Linux and networking part, logs, traces, what all kind of issues, how to debug those things, and the basic Linux and networking logs. So that is again is a part of troubleshooting activities. So we will be discussing on week three. Week four, what happens when the things when the things break, right? When we get a real issues like a severity 1, severity 2 issues, how to handle those incidents, and how you can, let's say you have worked on any critical incident, how you will be mentioning that, how you that add a value to your overall experience, and while explaining it to the SRE interview rounds, how you can um, explain those things. So we'll be discussing that as well. We will be discussing about the blameless postmortem, and yeah, these are the critical things that are being asked in the SRE interviews. Week 5, we will be discussing about the Kubernetes part, reliability and debugging the issues, the what all kind of issues that we get in our day-to-day activities, and how that can be implemented, and what all things that we can improvise in Kubernetes using the SRE principles. Week 6, we will be discussing about the CI/CD, chaos engineering, and yeah, and the mock interviews. On week 6, like mostly we will decide. It's not about the deployment process and all. We will be discussing on when to take the call. Like, okay, do we have that will come up along with the error budgeting things. So we will be discussing on what error budgets, how when do we say okay we can deploy the changes, and when do we say okay this is not the right time, it's a change freeze. So those decisions will be taken based on the error budgets, burnout ratio, right? So those things will be discussed. We will be discussing on week 1 and week 2. You once you are clear with all these terminologies, it will help you to understand the remaining weeks agenda, and that will help you, know to add those things in your day-to-day activities. Fine, guys. If you have any doubts, I will take a pause here and wait for your questions if you have any. And if no, then we can discuss. We can proceed further.
And also, guys, if you want to add something which you think that was not mentioned by some course, do tell. We will give you clarity. Like anything which we want to add in the starting part. Do tell that as well. Okay? Yeah.
Yeah, hello.
Lost the mic or we are unable to hear you. Santosh.
Hello.
Yeah, Santosh. Yeah.
Sorry. Okay, just a second. Okay.
Santosh, like, do we also get these recordings? Like,
You
if
will
we
get the
miss
Yes.
recording.
something.
Yes.
You will get the
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any question you guys in terms of discussion we have with the if you have anything you can start from those so that we can start with the first week. If you don't have any.
Yeah, Santosh. Actually, I have a question. Like, actually, before the joining call, I don't know what is SRE, but even I am still dumb. Like, even I didn't get what is SRE actually. This is the first session, right? It is.
Yes, Sharath. It's the first session, and yeah, we will be discussing about the SRE. Yeah. I mean, so see, SRE is nothing but one of the you know part of the. It's one of the. So as of now, like, may I know your background, like from what was your previous role, and
Yeah,
oh,
actually, I'm working in Infosys as a full
mhm,
stack developer. I have total
mhm,
4.6 years of experience.
mhm,
Actually, I'm from a mechanical background,
mhm,
so I came
mhm.
in IT as a fresher in the Infosys. So I'm continuing 4.6 in Infosys as a Manus Tech.
Oh, okay, okay. So that is also fine. Like so, uh, okay. So I could see a couple of questions here now. Okay. Mm, yeah. Please list out whatever the tools will cover.
Yeah, hello, Santosh.
Yeah.
Are you also cover the automations like in the SRE interview they ask for the coding like
Yep.
Python, so you should know. So we will cover in this course.
Yes, yes, yes. We will be covering the automation thing, not only the Python, but what all things that we can be automated using the alerting, monitoring tool, observability, and yeah, we will be covering that part as well. Yeah,
Okay, okay.
yeah,
Good. Thank you.
yeah. So I could see a couple of questions here. yeah, Sharath has asked to explain me the role of SRE. Okay, yeah. So Sharath, we will be discussing that part in a incoming session. Yeah, I will be covering. Yeah, I will share the LinkedIn ID as well. Minimize the Google pin. Okay, fine. Yeah.
Yeah, just ask him, like, you want to say something?
Santosh, hello.
Yes.
Yeah, can you also share the detailed topics like which we are cover in this
Yeah.
course?
Yeah. These are the upcoming slides. I will
Okay.
be.
Already
I'm
shared.
starting.
We asked to already share in the group as well. We will share
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
curriculum is
Yeah.
already shared in the group.
Yes. Absolutely. Yeah. Sure, Shubham. Uh, yeah. So we'll start with our week one. If you can see, hope my screen is visible, guys. Um, hello.
Yes,
Yes,
Santosh.
Santosh.
Yes.
Yes, Santosh.
Thank you. So yeah, so we will start with the SRE foundation, and yeah, we'll begin with the SRE mindset. So what exactly, as I think Sharath has asked the question, right? What exactly SRE means and the mindset. What are the reliability features that we need to implement? What exactly the difference between DevOps, platform engineering, right? How to set up the error budgets, and what exactly the blameless postmortem calls, the instant calls that we try. On Sunday, we will deep dive into these three acronyms where usually the interviewers ask what exactly the difference between SLA, SLI, SLOs, and percentile. Okay, and we will be discussing about the nine table. So when the interviewer asks the questions like, okay, how are you managing the availability of 99%, right? So this is something that you need to answer it with a proper measuring that things that you have implemented in your organization. So we will be discussing that part as well. So this is the critical things that we need to discuss first. Once these basics are clear, uh, we will further discuss about the observability part here. And as a part of these sessions, we will be covering mostly the difference between metrics, logs, traces, right? So this is nothing but the most technical work that we need to prepare whenever there is a round for the observability. The interviewers ask like, what kind of dashboards or how do you debug the issues? There is a latency in your application. What all commands that you will use in the Prometheus, right? What exactly the meanings of 502, 503, and based on that, what would be your pattern to search the issues? So these things we'll be discussing on week two, right? And on Sunday we'll discuss about the Prometheus deep dive and what's the architecture and types of PromQL commands. We'll be discussing on that rates, aggregation, how to calculate the percentile, the impact calculations, how to set up the aggregations, rate. So yeah, we will be discussing all this part into Prometheus deep dive. On week three, we will be discussing on Linux networking and the observability part. Oh, sorry. So, yeah, so Saturday, the debugging mostly the issues that we encounter in our day-to-day activities. So that is again whenever it's a kind of in a technical interview, these questions are being asked related to the CPU's memory, right? And how you are going to troubleshoot such kind of issues. What exactly the meaning of load average, VM stat, and whenever you see like OEM killed issue, what exactly that happens in the backend. Okay, see disk IO operations, networking. Is it a DNS issue? What exactly the DNS means? How your request is getting routed from the user to your application? How will you determine where exactly the latency lies? So all these things we will be discussing on week three, and yeah, we will be will also have like usually if you know the interview starts with uh, what happens when you type in a URL on a browser, correct? So such kind of issues usually ask whenever there is a technical interviews for the DevOps or SRE round. So we will discuss that with the proper practical experiences and how exactly that works and what answers are expected from you whenever you are attending such kind of interviews. Okay. On Sunday, week 3 Sunday, we will be discussing about log traces and scalings in Prometheus. And yeah, so why it is important, and this Prometheus tool is one of the Prometheus, Datadog. These are couple of important tools that we have to actively use them, and we will be discussing on what are the run sessions, real user monitoring, what are the synthetics, correct, and we will be discussing on deeply on all the parts of open telemetry, what exactly traces, differences, all these things we will be discussing on week 3, right? um, Week 4, again a part of incident management that we discussed a few minutes ago. It is a kind of, yeah, it's a bit of theoretical part usually. It's kind of incident management process, again being asked in the interviews. Usually they ask, okay, have you handled any kind of severity 1 incident or severity 2? What's exactly the incident commander's role? If let's say you are on call for a particular week and there is a P01 incident, what would be your role? How will you handle it? Are there any run books? What exactly the alerts that you will set up? And how will you set up the priority of your application, right? So all these things we will discuss on week 4. Incident response framework, we'll discuss about what is how to set up the alerts, what is alert fatigue, and on-call design, and all these things that we will discuss, because these are the real-time scenarios, and the real-time questions are based on all these things. Let's say you get an alert and you did not receive, you get a call from the uh, on late night at 2 a.m. That your application is down, but you did not receive any kind of alert. So you need to explain them to the interviewer why it got missed and what are the learnings that you can do. Part of again a incident management process. Today we will be discussing on the automation part, and we can have the blameless postmortems, right? And why this incident that we usually work on, they need to be tracked to the closure, and writing the postmortem reports, right? So preparing those blameless postmortems and all these things that we will be discussing on the week 4, um, yeah, Sunday. Week 5, again we will be discussing on the Kubernetes part, and the Kubernetes, uh, yes, Anita, we will have the hands-on for the SRE. Yeah, absolutely, we will have it, and we'll have a couple of
The
tools to
completely
implement.
hands-on only, guys. Don't
Yeah,
worry about that. Okay.
yeah,
50-20 format we are going to do. I think I've already told you in the starting of the session only, like more practical, less theory.
we'll be discussing mostly the practical things only, what all kind of issues that we get, specifically in the, if you see, consider the application issues, right? We cannot cover those parts in a theoretical approach. Unless and until you face such kind of issues and you fix it by yourself, it will be useless to explain. Actually, it's not going to add any values. Okay. Uh, yeah, any AI add-ons are expected? Yes, there are, like it's not a mandatory, Mukul, but yeah, they can expect some kind of, if you have done any kind of automation using the AI, you can, that will be added, I mean, value to your profile. It's not a mandatory, because automation is one of the key part that we implement into SRE. So if you have any AI exposure, and if you have implemented anything using AI, yeah, that will be added advantage for your profile. Yeah. On Sunday, we will be again discussing on the observability and troubleshooting part. So actually, we will be discussing on the issues. What exactly happens when you see the loop, crash loopback, OEM killed issues, pending pods, right? So all these kind of issues that we'll be discussing. Uh, yeah, so these are the typical questions are being asked in the interview. I have mentioned one of the question, right? If you see Kubernetes debugging, how do you size a service? What, how the HPA works, VPA works, right? And if the HPA you have configured, it is not scaling up, what could be the issue? How will you implement that? How will you troubleshoot such kind of issues? So these are the typical questions are being asked. So we will be discussing about all these issues on week 5. And on week 6, we will be discussing about the CI/CD pipeline. how we can build a reliability in your CI/CD pipeline. See, most of the organizations will have the CI/CD pipeline in place, but when we go for an SRE, reliability for the CI/CD pipeline, it's kind of an expectation from the interviewer is if you have implemented a reliability in your application, specifically into the CI/CD. What happens like when you deployed any changes in your application and those changes got failed or the deployment got failed? Is it impacting to your application? Is it impacting to the prod? Do we have any fallback mechanism? Right. So all these questions that we will be covered on week 6, and Saturday we will be covering that part along with the GitOps, Argo CD, Terraform, and and the kind of automated rollback that we discussed. On Sunday we will be discussing about chaos engineering, like whenever there is issues or kind of a P01 and like a typical hypothesis examples we will be discussing on blast radius, and it is a kind of when your application is at the peak and suddenly you are noticing some kind of issues in your application, and you break your application, and you will analyze what happens when your application fails. Is your application fail safe? Is chaos engineering is implemented in your application? So all those things we will be discussing on week 6. So then we will be covering tooling part. So there are some tools like this Litmus Chaos and Chaos Mesh. So we'll be discussing that part as well. And on week 6 again, we are, as Shubham mentioned, that we will be discussing about 60 minutes interview rounds. We will be go through questions like interview questions, mock interview rounds, and that will definitely help you guys, when you start preparing for the interviews, what exactly the interviewer is looking for and the answers. Apart from that, we will be definitely, as Shubham mentioned, we will be reviewing your resumes as well. We'll walk through all of your resumes, and if there are some any modifications or any changes that are required, we'll definitely go through that part as well. Coming to the bootcamp tech stack that we will be discussing and we will be covering as a part of these sessions. For metrics and alerting, we'll have the complete hands-on experience into Prometheus, PromQL, alert managers. And for the logs and traces, we'll be working on the ELK, Loki tool, and OpenTelemetry. For incident part, we will be discussing about the PagerDuty or any tool that in your organizations are being used. I'm fine to discuss on that part because it's the only the tool that we'll be discussing, but the application remain the same in your organization, right? When I say there is a P01 incident, the tracking part will be the same. If you might be using the PagerDuty, you might be using ServiceNow tools, but we'll be covering that part. Kubernetes, we will work on probes, HPA, VPA, and the debugging commands. We'll see how to debug the issues in Kubernetes. CI/CD and GitOps, the pipeline design will not go into core designing part, but we will be discussing about the reliability. We are assuming here that the pipeline is already built, but whatever the issues that we encounter, how we can tackle them, and with using the SRE, how we can improvise the CI/CD reliability. Again, we'll be discussing on Argo CD, Helm, and progressive delivery part. On IOC, we will be discussing on the Terraform and feature flags. So Terraform and feature flags are like mostly we will be while discussing about the automation part that you have implemented that is being asked in the interviews. So that will help how you have implemented Terraform, and if that has reduced any kind of manual effort in your organization, and what was your input. So those things we will be discussing with Terraform and feature flags as well. What exactly the feature flag and where exactly they use, and in mobile application how the feature flag can be in how to enable, disable, what's the functionalities, and what is the right time to use the feature flags. All these things we will be discussing yeah, in upcoming sessions. Um, so once we are done with the sessions, so you will have a complete idea about how to write a SLO for your application, how to prepare a prompt QL queries, and how you can build a burn rate alerts. So when you say that your application is 99.99% up, so how are you determining 0.1% of the error rate? So that is the typical question asked in the interviews, and most of the candidate I have seen, they claim that okay, my application is running 99.9%. So when I ask them, okay, how are you determining the 0.1%? They are clueless because they have not implemented this burn rate, correct? So we will be debugging the slow server. We will get to know how to debug that. Will not only discussing, will not only showing that on a dashboard, but yeah, we'll log in, we'll SSH, we'll troubleshoot the issues, we'll be debugging the issues on the Kubernetes deployment, okay? And we will be having a proper scenario for the incident. Let's say severity of an incident, and how you will conduct, how you will drive as an incident commander, how you will drive that incident, and what would be your task, and the run book that you will prepare. All those things, you will have the complete idea. You will be able to write a proper blameless postmortem call for the leadership. Usually the leadership look for the all these things. And yeah, you will be able to design a reliable CI/CD pipeline. It's not a regular CI/CD the things that we have in place, but what reliability means into the CI/CD. So yeah, you will have the complete idea about it. Uh, yeah, so yeah, along with that, we will be sharing the complete details about once the sessions are over, I will be sharing the workbook for your weekly exercise plan. So along with these sessions, we will have some problem statements, and that is a kind of workbook. And over the week, you have to work on those part, and you have to come up with the proper exercise solutions. We will be discussing that part, and you can share that with me separately. We'll be discussing that part in the next sessions. Again, whatever the cheat sheets that we have prepared, the formulas, definitions, right? Again, that will help you at the last minute interview preparation. I will be sharing that as well. Again, and the interview questions, the typical interview questions are what are the questions are being asked in the interviews nowadays. Uh, and along with the C, as someone mentioned, like what is the AI add-on expected, right? So I could see most of the candidates go through the AI, whatever this interview questions are being set by the AI, and they try to prepare based on the questions that are set by AI. But when it comes to the real-time experiences, right? You have to prepare accordingly. You have to face all these kind of issues by yourself. You need to solve them. Then only you will be able to answer them in the interviews. So that is again a part, as I discussed about the mock interviews. We will be discussing. We will be having the mock interviews with you guys and with the real feedback. And yeah, we'll be discussing about, we'll go through your resumes, and we'll try to set up uh, ATS friendly, and so that you will get as much most of the benefit whenever you upload your resumes to the Naukri portal or whatever the job searching portals you have. um so how are we going to discuss about the topics in upcoming sessions? So first we will start with the topic, the concept, starting with the real production issues, scenarios. Not only the definition, but we will go through all the scenarios. Then once all these things are clear to you guys, we will go through some MCQs. We will have some around 10 MCQ questions, just to make sure that you will find out that will help you to figure it out whether you have really understood the concepts that we have discussed, and one interview questions based on that topic. Real interview questions that is being asked in the interview, and what is the strong answer that is expected. So we will be discussing that part as well. So we will be covering as you can see on Saturday we will be covering the concepts. Okay, mostly we will go through the important concept that are being asked, and on Sunday we will deep dive into main exercise. So again, like what Shubham has said, we will be mostly focusing on the exercise and hands-on practice that will be conducted on the Sunday, but on Saturday as well we will have the complete idea about the terminologies, and these are for the only for a few sessions, upcoming sessions, because once we have um, okay. So from week 2 onwards, we will be mostly focusing on the hands-on practice, writing the prompt QL, debugging in the Kubernetes issues, right, and the real-time incident and issues. Okay, and before we start, so these are the prerequisites that we will we are expecting before we begin with the complete we'll, let's say, whenever we are starting with the basically in the comfort, right, we should be having a proper knowledge about what exactly the Linux means, Linux box, and what all commands do we use. At least a basic idea about the Linux is fine for us, and basic idea how the web application works. So if you do not have any idea about this, please let me know. I'm happy to share the documents or the PDFs or whatever the content I have. And because like we will be discussing the reliability part, and I am assuming that you are well versed with all these concepts about the basic, at least basic concepts how about HTTP, client server database. So at least I'm expecting that you are aware of these terminologies. And yeah yeah, so these things we will be discussing, and the prerequisite I'm expecting from you guys. And yeah, as I said, if you are missing something, just tell me. Feel free to tell me in the group channel, and I'm happy to share all the details or documents that I have. And yeah, we'll be happy to share those documents with you guys. And yeah, once we are done with the sessions, for all the 6 weeks program, I will be sharing the Udemy courses that I have uploaded on the Udemy. So these are the practitioner courses. So once you are done with the SRE complete program, I will be sharing the coupon with you guys, and it's kind of the program or the tests will be available for you for on free for 5 days. You can practice all these sessions, foundation certification, interview practice test, and SRE practitioners. So these are the courses are being conducted by DevOps Institute, and based on their curriculum, I have prepared these interview questions. And this will definitely, if you're planning to further opt for the SRE certifications, then you can have a practice. So you can go through these sessions, and this will definitely help you out. Okay, guys, I will take a pause here, and yeah, I will wait for your questions if you have any. Yeah. Okay, share the Linux docs. Okay, I will share the Linux documents. Hmm.
Yeah, all right. Santosh, I think it's a good one. We
Hmm.
can start with direct SRE concepts
Yeah.
like SLA, SLOs, and all, because
Yeah.
I'm working as a DevOps engineer for almost 4 years, and I even don't know about what are these. So it's good to see
Absolutely.
your curriculum start with SLO, SROs, and the error budget wala stuff,
Yep.
because the Linux stuffs and that for some part of CI/CD we already know about it.
Hmm.
Uh,
Hmm.
it's a kind of good one.
Perfect. Perfect. So let me share my screen. Yeah. Okay. Okay, to begin with, we will be starting with the SRE foundation and the reliability principles in today's session. So we'll start with what exactly the SRE mindset is, SRE versus DevOps, and the platform engineering. Yeah, we'll be discussing about the reliability features like error budgets, blameless culture, and toil. All these things we'll be discussing. And tomorrow on Sunday we'll be deep dive into what exactly the SLA, SLI, how to implement them, and the error budgeting maths, burn rate, and we'll be preparing the real. We'll be writing the real service level objectives.
Sir, have
Okay.
you changed your screen?
Uh,
Yeah, we could see that Udemy one, the bootcamp program.
is it okay? 1 second.
Hello, Santosh. I would love to continue with the session, but I think I just got a call and I had an emergency. I've
Sure.
seen your recording and will join tomorrow. Okay, with your permission, I will just take a leave.
Yeah, absolutely. Fine, Anirudh. No worries.
Yeah, thank you, Santosh.
Thank you. No worries. Okay. Let me share my entire screen. Looks like some issues with this. So when I minimize this Google Meet, right, I'm not able to see your messages. So I opened another screen here so that I can go through the questions while we are discussing. So hope my screen is visible now, guys. Please confirm.
Yeah, Santosh.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So again, on week 1, we will be discussing on this part. Saturday, today, we will be discussing on SRE versus DevOps and platform engineering. And yeah, we'll go through all these terminologies like toil engineering, SRE, error budgets, blameless culture. Tomorrow, we will deep dive into SLA, SLOs, and SLIs. Okay. Okay. So let's start with the um, real life stories, or whatever the experience that you get in your day-to-day activities when in your office, right? Let's say there is one organization or any company, any critical application is being run by that. Let's say it's a payment organization, okay, payments company, and they perform the checkout. So checkout meaning they perform the daily validation, and they claim that their uptime is 99.9%. Okay, 4 nines. And yeah, once they let's say it's working all the time without any issues. Okay, most of the times. But suddenly on fine day there is a, let's say there is an event, or it's a Black Friday or some event going on, and we there is a expected where there is a sudden surge in overall traffic, and due to which your application is down for almost 20-25 minutes at the peak traffic, and your application is down, you are not able to perform any payment operations, and millions or millions are lost during this downtime. Transactions got failed. It was an embarrassing experience for uh, for the members and for the users, and they are not able to perform any operations. So next day, let's say whenever uh, let's say you fix the issue, your DevOps or SRE team fix the issue, your production support team, and when the next uh, postmortem call, or in a incident discussion call, your VP or CEO walks into the meeting and asked, like, whose fault is it? What went wrong, and whose fault was it? So this is the only question that you will get to know if your company is really implementing SRE or not. Okay, so by the end of this day, we will get to know why this question is wrong, and what is the right questions to ask, and ideas behind it. SRE mostly focuses on implementing the blameless culture. Instead of blaming someone, let's say it is because of some changes that went live. Let's say there is a team who built the critical payment functionality and due to which that service went down. And instead of blaming someone from your company, how that can be avoided in future. And in a blameless culture, you will be working as a team rather than pointing out or blaming some issues to uh, within your team to anyone. So that is nothing but the blameless culture. So by the end of this today's session, you will get to know about what exactly the SRE mindset is and how can we implement that in your day-to-day activities and your organization. Okay. Yeah. Uh, yeah. Again, SRE mindset, and we'll be discussing the 5 ideas. And all these 5 ideas are being asked in the interviews uh, heavily because these are nothing but the terminologies that differentiate between the DevOps and SRE. Okay. So to begin with, I would like to ask one question. Like you can write in one liner also. It is fine. So, uh, what's the difference between SRE and DevOps? So whenever you apply for any SRE role, so if you are a DevOps engineer, so the first question that they will ask you, okay, what is the difference? I will wait for your answer, guys.
So in yeah, so in DevOps, like we are mostly shipping and deploying the things, the features that the developers works on, as opposed to SRE. Is more reliability, and we take care of the system doesn't crash, and those rules and boundary, etc.
Fair enough. Okay, DevOps take care of the deployment, SRE take care what happens post deployment. Okay. Um, DevOps focuses on faster release, SRE focuses on maintaining the system. Yes, that's right, Raj. Reliable and available, right? DevOps links between the development and operations. Issues. Okay, fair enough. Creates the infra, delivers CI/CD deployment, but SRE makes sure application is a fast, secure. Yeah, that's right, Niharika. Automation and SRE is uptime for site. That's right. Mhm. Okay, after fraud, SRE. DevOps is who create the dashboards and deployments, whereas SRE, what's happening after the deployment. Yeah, that's right, guys. Uh, correct. Most of your answer are like I could say. I think DevOps deploy application release, monitoring, and application ensure its reliability. Correct. That's right, guys. So yeah, again, so DevOps is like nothing but a philosophy. Like it has started back in 2009, correct? When there is the problem, like let's consider the scenarios before the DevOps. Earlier, the scenarios wise, there were two teams used to developers and the operations team, right? The main role for the developers team, the main agenda for him is to deploy the assets or the changes ASAP, faster deployment, correct? And for them, deploying the changes at earliest is the success. Whereas for the operations team, if you deploy those changes quickly, there might be some issues post deployment. So for them, change is a risk, and for the developer, change is a success. So there is a conflict, right? So as a result, there used to be a conflict between development team and operations team all the time, because whenever there is a P01 or any critical incident, the dev used to throw the code on the production, and if it is bad, the operations team again reverting back and throw it back to the development team. To this was the problem prior to DevOps. Uh, then what exactly the idea behind implementing the DevOps? So the DevOps says, okay, let's stop fighting between developers and operations. Let's build one team. Let's work as a team. As most of you members have answered correctly, the development DevOps is nothing but build build the assets together, deploy them, and run it in the production environment. Whatever the automations can be done, let's automate the CI/CD pipeline or the deployment process, and let's measure. Okay, let me hide that. So so what DevOps said is like let's work as a team rather than working as a separate teams. So that was the idea behind implementing the DevOps. So um, when this culture was implemented, right? So there is a set of ideas and culture, but uh, it does not tell you what exactly you have to do apart from the CI/CD or the regular task or the deployment process that you are doing. There is no nothing to track actually what exactly you are doing. Let's say you are doing the deployment, right? On Monday morning you are doing the deployment, and during this deployment you notice that your application was down for 15 minutes. Is anyone going to track that? Is anyone tracking the real member experience? How much was your application for? How long your application was down? What was the availability of your application during that time? And what was the exact SLO was impacted due to this? So there is no numbers, right, to track. So whenever there are companies that say, okay, we are having the DevOps engineer. So DevOps engineers role are differ in all the organizations. You might have experienced that you prepare for something, but the organization is looking for something else. You focus on CI/CD pipeline, but they go for the Kubernetes part. You prepare for Kubernetes, they go for the observability part, implementing the alerting, right? Uh, Linux troubleshooting, deployment process, all these things, because DevOps is a concept that it works completely different in all the organizations. So there is no proper structure for the DevOps. So when it comes to the SRE, uh, so this is the answer. This is the actual implementation. So the SRE site reliability engineering, it uh, implemented was actually implemented in 2003, okay, by Google. So if you see this one, Blaine Trace Gloss, this is the guy who actually started the uh, SRE implementation in Google. According to him, like the SRE is nothing but what happens when you ask your software engineer, who is the like the developer, to design the operations team. Okay, now thing is, why do we need why SRE software engineers have to design the operations team? There is an operations team already in place, right? So why exactly do we need software engineer to design it? Because when you ask software engineers to design an operations team, they will they will work on that particular service or the operations with the proper measurement, right? With the proper precisions. So that is when the SRE was implemented. And when I say the operations are measured, the measurable practices, so based on the below all these ideas, the SRE ideas are implemented. If you can see here, SLO, error budget, toil cap, blameless postmortem. So these are nothing but the measurable practices in the SRE. Okay. Now, when I say SLO, it is nothing but an service level objective. So let's say your organization has promised like they deliver 99% of the request success or 98 days. Now earlier in DevOps, do we have any such kind of numbers in your organization? Okay, do you confirm to anyone, to your leadership or to your clients, that we deliver 99.9% of the availability or the success ratio in your application? In DevOps, there is no such measurable practice, correct? When it comes to the error budgeting is nothing but the allowed errors. So let's say you are deploying some changes. and you have claimed that you are performing 99% from 99.9% of the availability. So here the error rate or the accepted error is 100% minus 99.9. That is nothing but the 0.1 percentage, right? So whenever a DevOps team is deploying any changes, they need to make sure that their failures or the downtime is not exceeding beyond the error budget. Okay, if we have the budget in place, we will be discussing that further in deep dive into error budgeting part. So how to calculate the error budgets, and how to determine what's the budget left, and if the budget is burned out, how to implement the feature, how to implement the change freeze, or how to stop the deployment process. So that is nothing but the principles or the practices that are being set in SRE. Earlier in DevOps, these measurable things were not there at all. That's how the SRE is differentiated between DevOps and that's how the SRE is different than DevOps. So whenever you get any kind of questions into interview, what exactly the difference between SRE and DevOps? So you can say DevOps. Here I have mentioned in the one liner, right? If you can see, if you want to write it down, you can. So DevOps is a philosophy. So it's nothing but the collaboration between operations and the development team, whereas SRE is nothing but the prescriptive implementation of it. So whereas you are considering the reliability as a goal. Okay, so reliability as a goal, meaning you are measuring the reliability of your application with these 5 ideas that we have discussed. If you okay, so the last idea was about the platform engineering. So as of now, you could see there are some new role being you might have seen that there are some vacancies for the platform engineering as well, right? So how it is different than our regular SRE and DevOps role? Okay, so the platform team is nothing but one of the it's an internal team only. So in your organization, they are also working on the same part with the DevOps and DevOps culture and the SRE culture, but the roles and responsibilities for the platform engineering is differs when exactly their main goal is nothing but they mostly focuses on implementing the internal product, whereas for DevOps and the SRE they mostly work on the production part. Platform engineers also work on the production part, whereas their main goal is implementing the internal product. Now, what do you mean by internal product here? They have to prepare some dashboard, or they have to prepare some automation, or they have to prepare some kind of tools internally. They are not relying on the complete tools that are being used outside of the organization, so they build an internal tool. Let's say there is a open source tool, right? And your platform engineering team will work on that particular open source tool, and they will build a golden path. Golden path meaning they will prepare, let's say, a complete deployment process using that open source tool, and it is completely within a requirement within your organization, and it's the internal product requirement. So this is nothing but the golden path rule. So based on the requirement, your platform team will build the internal product, and an SRE is nothing but it's a kind of prescriptive implementation, meaning you are measuring the reliability of your application. Now, when you are looking for the job roles, or when you are planning to have a career in a DevOps, SRE, and platform, the key things that you need to focus on when you are preparing for the DevOps, you have to master in CI/CD, automation part, on call, cloud engineering, and everything. When it comes to the SRE part, we have to master in SLOs, how to build the error budget, postmortems, toil engineering. All these things you should be able to answer it in the interview questions, in the interview rounds. So again, as I said, what exactly the rules like for the DevOps? They are nothing but the principles. They are a standard set of rules that it's been a kind of agreement between the operations and development teams. Okay, let's deploy these changes, or let's work as a team. When it comes to the SRE, they are mostly focused on the numbers, right? The reliability and measurable part. And when it comes to the platform engineering mostly focuses on it, the internal builds. They usually focus on building the internal products. Okay. So hope guys I have covered the main difference between DevOps, SRE, and the platform engineering. If you have any doubts or any queries, just feel free to post in the conf. I will take a look here.
Santosh, I can understand SRE is somehow related to operations part, so they are doing on-call. Why do DevOps engineer need to perform on-call operations?
Correct. So Raj, see on-call operations they need to perform. It's kind of along with the deployment process. Let's say there are some production issues all the time. So it's a kind of a shared responsibility, Raj. Some teams, some SRE teams have the privilege to work on the deployment process as well. They have the authority to to work on the deployment. They can restart or they can perform the activities. But in some organizations, DevOps team will have the responsibilities of working on the CI/CD only. The SRE team will not have the complete access or the role set for them to perform on the CI/CD or performing or any act on the production issues. You got my point?
Yes,
But
Santosh. Thank you.
yeah, Anita. So if you see the last line here, the DevOps says shared responsibility between operations and development teams. The SRE says here are the exact numbers, the budget, and what happens as someone in the chat explained, right? What happens after the deployment? It's the same. What happens when we cross the error budget? What happens when we breach the SLA, the agreement? Yes, Niharika, I will be sharing all the PDF, all this PPTs and PDF as well. Yeah. So okay, team, I think we will take a 5 minutes break here and we'll reconvene shortly. Yeah, hi Madan. I could see your message about recovery management. Okay, this chaos replacing this topic, or okay, I will look into this part, Madan. If we can add this part into our sessions, okay, and or if I can um, cover it as a part of our chaos engineering session.
Okay, Santosh.
No?
I just wanted to know. I haven't seen the about recovery
Yeah,
management, so
absolutely. I can. Let me take a note of it.
okay, Santosh.
Any other queries, guys, or if you have any topic or anything that you think that we should have that in our session, so feel free to let me know. I will add those sessions. Yeah, Abhishek, regarding your question, application and data security in SRE, correct? So, see, when it comes to when you are measuring your application security, right, there must be some I mean, you must be having some availability of your applications, right? Based on that, you are tracking your security and vulnerability things, right? So in SRE, you can manage that as well. However, the measuring thing that we have discussed, that will change. So let's say the number of security alerts or vulnerability that you are expecting, it's kind of that will come into the part of incident management process. Okay, again, it is a part of SRE only, but how you will try to improvise the overall security in your application. Let's say over a month, like how many security alerts you are getting and how are you trying to mitigate them, and what what all the things that you will make sure or automate to avoid such issues in future. So those all things will come as a part of roles and responsibilities of a SRE engineer. Hope I answered your question, Abhishek. Okay, DRHA setup for K8 and other platform. Yeah, okay. Let me. Yeah, we will be discussing about HPA, VPA, and we'll go through the DR sessions as well. How the DRs and fallback mechanism, failover, all these things we will cover. Niharika. Yeah, Anita, I think that should be fine. 4 GB RAM. I don't see any issues. Yeah. Yeah, Priya, I think you can use the terminal. The terminal will help you. I mean, the whatever the commands that you will be performing for the Linux operations, right? I think the same can be performed on iOS terminal. Right. So team, to summarize what we have discussed regarding the DevOps and the SRE and platform engineering. So from the interviewer's point of view, what are the expectations from the interviewer, and what you are supposed to answer in such kind of queries or questions, like what is the main difference that you have faced as a SRE engineer? What is the main difference between DevOps and SRE? So this is nothing but uh, you need to answer like SRE quantifies the reliability, like they measure the reliability, and whereas and it enforces it, meaning you are calculating the errors, the number of issues or the error count. So if there is a uh, DevOps does not like see, so DevOps team, they perform the CI/CD, they perform the deployment process, they build the CI/CD pipeline, build assets, but there isn't any numbers to promise. Let's say you while deploying, you deploying the changes, you notice any issues, so there is nothing to measure, right? Whereas the SRE quantifies the reliability is nothing but they have the objective. Like when you say that we are having the availability of our system is 99.9, so this is nothing but a number. So we can't, we are measuring our service availability. So this is nothing but the SRE quantifies the reliability using the SLO, and they enforces it using the error budgets. So yeah, this is the interview trap. Usually, most of the candidates I have seen that the answer SR is nothing but just a DevOps team with a different name or different roles and responsibilities. So this is a trap, guys. So you have to be very specific while answering what exactly the difference, and you need to say you should be saying about SLOs, error budget things, right? So okay, so this is just a quick check for every one of us. Like if you have understood the SRE and core difference between SRE and DevOps. Um, if you can see here, the last box, that quick check one, the team automates all the deployment, but they do not have any SLOs or error budget. So what exactly they are following? So they are following the SR. They are not following the SRE because they are just performing the automation part. Whatever the automation part like CI/CD and build pipeline is set, they are doing it. But there are no numbers to track. So if there are no numbers, then it is not an SRE. Hope that makes sense, guys. Okay. Okay. So Rahul's question.
Uh,
So full stack developer. Yeah.
yes,
Tell me.
Santosh, could you please give another example?
Yeah. Okay. So Arnika, right? Okay. So see, things is the main core difference here is like I will be discussing that we have couple of examples here. I have scenarios, so we'll be discussing that part, Arnika, as a part of this MCQs, right?
Okay,
So we have a couple of examples over here, so that will help you
sure,
how
sure.
to differentiate between DevOps and SRE.
Thank you.
No worries. Okay. Um, so as we have covered about the main key differences between the SRE and DevOps, right? The main mindset shift here is when you say that what exactly when you say that my organization is implementing or my organization is or my team is actively using the SRE principles, right? So how exactly you need to convey that's the same to the interviewer, that okay, if that interviewer says ask you like okay, are you is your team is or is your application is having the 100% of the availability? If by any chance if you get any such kind of questions, you have to be very sure about what exactly the comment you are giving, because 100% of the error or 100% of the availability in your application is not possible. Okay. So why it is not possible? Can anyone give me like why? Let's say we always say, okay, my application is 99.9% available. Why it is not 100% available? Can anyone give me why it is, why we do not commit 100% of the availability?
There can be maintenance activity on the application.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If there is any update that needs to be testing, that has to be done to check any feature.
Mm-hmm.
If we are going to have 100%, there won't be any space to check for any sudden errors. So
Correct.
it's best to have some space for errors.
Correct. Yeah, there can be any
And
reasons to maintenance. Correct. Yeah, maintenance is one of the part. Yeah, regular patching activity. Correct.
Sometimes
deployments
it could be due to the cloud unavailability
Mm-hmm.
for
That's
a
right.
particular region. Yeah.
Yeah, that is why, that is correct. But see, even if you say like it's 100% available, uh, the main problem here is with, as you guys have rightly mentioned, there are many dependencies within our application. Let's say it's weekly maintenance activity, patching activity. There could be the issues with your application, and you cannot guarantee that. Even if you have, let's say, the fail-safe mechanism, even if you have the DR, right? We cannot guarantee that, okay, my application at any time, if there is any failures, my application will work on all the scenarios. That can't be possible because of this core dependencies that we have. Correct. So the reasons, and apart from this, if you plan to have a 99.9% of the availability, now if you see the first point I have mentioned, the cost export per 9, that means if you are planning from 99.9% to 99.99, it's a kind of engineering effort, adding the engineering effort, meaning you are planning to have availability everywhere. So let's say you have an internal product, okay? It is not customer facing. Let's say that application is not having any issue, not facing any customer, and it's not adding any value to your organization. But still, you have, let's say, configured n number of servers just to see the dashboard and just to make sure I just want to have availability of 99.99%. It is nothing but a redundancy, right? It's nothing but the extra effort for your engineering teams. Even if that particular internal tool or if any application, let's take an example of transaction history, right? Let's say you are checking the statement, bank statement, okay, and you are planning to have availability of 99.99. Is it really going to impact, let's say, the statement, there are two use cases here: performing the payment and checking the transaction history. There are two use cases. Which one is critical, guys? So performing the payment, correct? Because you are real time, you are performing the payment, you are performing the transaction here. Whereas the transaction history, you are simply checking the historical data. That can't be that critical compared to the actual transaction performance. So do we really need to have a 99.99 percentage of the availability for the transaction history? Not needed, right? Even if your transaction history is down for some time, the member can check that after 15-20 minutes. But if you're planning to have a payment, if you're performing any payment transaction and your application is down, it's not a good experience for the user, right? So that's how it is. You cannot guarantee 99.99% of the application availability for all your services. So, and that comes with, as someone mentioned, like there are some testing and issues that you cannot guarantee all the test cases or the functional regression, all this testing can be done as a part of this activity, because there are some applications which are not that kind of critical comparing to the other applications, and we cannot guarantee that. Apart from that, this is a server side, as you mentioned, as you guys mentioned about the maintenance activity, correct? And there could be network issues, unusual traffic, right? Patching activities. Apart from that, if let's say there is a user who is traveling and he's on his phone and in that particular network or the geolocation, he's that Wi-Fi is not good or the network is not good. Even though your application is 99.9% available, due to his connection issues, his he won't be able to perform the payment. Correct? Again, that will come into 0.1%. Right? That's the main one of the reason you cannot guarantee to anyone that your application is 100% available. Okay, and along with that, opportunity cost is nothing but if you aim to provide 100% or if you planning to add extra 9 to your application, that means you are paying extra to the unnecessary features. Okay, and that will it's not necessary in your application. Let's say the internal product which is internal to your organization only, but to aim for the 100% of the availability of the application, you are unnecessarily spending infrastructure for that application. It is nothing but the opportunity cost. Correct? You had a scope for your organization to develop something else, but what you have done, we have implemented that just to aim for 99.99% of the availability. Okay, so this is how exactly we have to aim for, like, so 100% of the availability is not possible in our application. And yeah, so if you see the last the issue that I have mentioned, so if you consider a real-time example to compare that with, let's say there is a bank, we have a bank, right? For bank, and let's say we have to provide a security for a bank and a coffee shop. Okay, now it is nothing but the cost that you are implementing. You will so the main critical service here is bank, not the coffee shop, right? So what you will do, you will be putting a vault on a bank vault only, right? Bank security. You no need to put the vault on the cafe. Correct? So again, similarly in a payment API and an internal dashboard, payment API is nothing but the user facing. Your customers are facing if your customers are using the payment API, whereas your internal dashboard is nothing but is being used within your organization. Your the outside customers or users are not going to impact even if your internal dashboard is down. Correct? So it's based on the criticality of the application. So for the payment API, you can aim for 99.99%, whereas for the internal dashboard, okay, you can have the availability of the 99%. Even if it is a kind of a maintenance activity over the weekend, your application may down, the internal application may down for let's say 2-3 hours. That is fine because it's not going to harm anyone. The end user is not going to impact with your internal tool, internal dashboard. Correct? So reliability is, yeah, as I mentioned here, is reliability is nothing but you set it deliberately based on the actual user need. We no need to set a 99.99 availability for all your service space. It's based on the actually what user is looking for, what exactly the user is looking for or the need. Okay, is it fine, guys? Or if you have any doubts or any queries? Thank you. Okay, so yeah, moving on to the next part, like, guys, so this is a quick MCQs that based on the uh, topic that we have discussed so far. Um, I have prepared like 10 MCQs here. So just go through it and you can come up with your answers in the chat box. We will discuss it in the next slide, what exactly what the correct answers are, and I will explain them one by one. Are you guys able to read the questions, or you want me to increase the font size, guys?
This is fine, Santosh. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, I could see a couple of answers here. 1B. Okay, let's see. Mm-hmm. B to A. Talk. Okay. Okay, fine, guys. I think we are good to discuss the answers here. Um, Okay, so here are the answers. So let's discuss this. Okay, thanks, Niharika. Hari, you have answered C. A. Anita. Okay, on B. Right. Yeah, I think most of you guys have answered correctly. I think yeah, B, C, D, C, D. Yeah. Okay, thanks guys. So these are the real-time questions whenever these are also being asked in the interview sometimes. These are the uh, just to analyze if just to check if you really have any experience with what exactly the SRE principles are being used. And just quickly summarize this, go through all the questions once. Now, checkout hit 100%. That means your validations in your organization is 100% uh, over the last 3 months, and your VP wants to celebrate. That means 100% reliability, as we discussed, it is not correct one, and it's the wrong target. So it's a kind of over investment that you have done in reliability, that is which was unnecessary. Okay. The second question is about they want to ship the risky feature on Friday. Ops refuses it, and what resolves it with the data. Again, yeah, as most of you have answered correctly, it is the error budget policy. It is nothing but error budget policy is nothing but the agreed errors that we have agreed with the development team. It's a data driven. So as we claim for the 99.99% of the availability, we are okay to accept the errors for of 0.1%. So if it is less than 0.1%, we are good to ship the assets. If it is more than zero point 0.1, then it is kind of a change freeze. A team does a DevOps but has no measured reliability. Is it a gap versus SRE? Because SRE, as we see, SRE is quantifies the reliability. So for DevOps, there is no demand for any measurement or any measured numbers. So it's SRE. A team built a self-service golden path. Others deploy using the tickets. Okay, question number 4. Correct. It's the internal product. As we discussed, the platform engineering's main roles and responsibilities are to building the internal product that will help the team internally for all their activities. So let's say it's a self-service or any any golden pass that they have to implement. It's the platform engineering who usually take care of it. Question 5. The monthly error budget is exhausted in the mid-month as per policy. That means uh, as per policy, the future release. So already the monthly budget, error budget for your application is exhausted. That means there is no scope for further errors. So again, you cannot compromise your reliability over the future release. So they have to wait for the next, I mean next whatever the release plan is. Till then, it will be a change freeze only. Question 6. A service leaves 90% of the error budget unused every month. That means the 90% of the error budget. 90% means out of 100 uh, transactions, you are allowing 10 transactions to fail. Correct? That means you are taking a more risk. So it's kind of a more riskier move, and it's a kind of it's for 100 it is 10. Then if you consider the millennium transactions, then it's a kind of a huge number, your number of errors, so which is a risky one. Correct. Question 7. SRE is a software engineering design ops in production. That means correct. So yeah, question 7 I could say, yeah, most of you have rightly said, like it's a solving the operations problems and performing the automation task. Okay. when the leadership is asking why not target, why not to target 99.99 for your internal dashboard, the best reply, correct. Option C, I could say, yeah, reliability is the feature you budget for, and extra 9 cost much more. So it is an internal product, and even if there is an issue with your internal product, it's not going to impact or harm your end user. So for 99, so there is no need of having all five nines for your internal dashboard. One team wants the velocity, another stability, the SRE mechanism that align them with the share error budget. Again, the same, if you have the numbers in place, you can, like the error budgets and SLO, it's again like you are following the SRE principles over here. Your organization wants no operations task, the most of the accurate. Um, no operations, that means they they are looking for a platform task, right? To building the internal all the golden paths, like to have all the services and the process in place. That is nothing but the platform engineering task. But however, it does not eliminate the actual work that the SRE does. Even if you have built the all the tools, or you have done any kind of internal products, it's not going to eliminate the SRE's roles and responsibilities. Okay, moving on to the next topic, guys. The toil engineering. So we will cover today the toil engineering part, and I think there are many few more things that I have to cover, but I think due to the time constraint, I will cover only the toil engineering part today's session, and tomorrow we will continue with the rest of the part. Okay, so we'll quickly go through what toil means, and what exactly the role. Okay, so this is kind of again interview questions that usually ask in the usually okay. Yeah, is it fine now, Anita?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, thank you. So toil is nothing but usually it is nothing but the manual effort, the human effort that we put. So it is mean, it does not meaning like, okay, let's say you are doing some activity every day, the same task you are performing. Let's say a restart of the services, you know that you have to perform it in a daily way. It's a kind of human effort that can be automated, but you are doing it by hand. It's a kind of a manual effort, you are doing it repetitively again and again. It's a kind of a weekly activity, it's a kind of a daily bi-weekly activities, correct? Whereas these activities can be automated by using some kind of scripts. You write a Python script, you write a shell script, or anything which can be automated, but your team is still performing it manually. So that is nothing but the toil. So your approach here should be, uh, you should be our team, like as an SRE, the main approach here is um, to target for, to reducing the manual effort and try to automate all the things that can be automated. Okay, so if you see, there is a, let's say there is a restart of activity, you are restarting any service every day, you are restarting service. But even after, say, you might have noticed that there is a issue with your application, whereas the application memory is, every day you are saying that it is getting increased to, let's say, 70-80%, and when you restart the application performs better. Such kind of application, such kind of activities, see, it's a kind of issue in your application that has to be looked by the development team. Whereas if there is a kind of restarting of your any service, it is, if it is not adding any value, if the service performs the same even after the restarting of the service, or even after doing that activity, then it is nothing but a toil. Okay, so let's say if you are performing the same task, let's say you are restarting 10 servers daily. Now, let's say due to the demand, or if when your platform or your application grows, and let's say you have increased that number of servers from 10 to 50. And again, now earlier you were restarting the 10 servers, now you have to restart 50 servers. So here, in simple words, toil means if your if your services are increasing in numbers or in size, and if your work is also increasing with the same proportional, then it's a toil. Okay, so what's the best way is to good it's the best way to automate all these things. This is nothing but a toil engineering. Okay, so in Google, the principle, the approach that being used in Google as of now at the moment is less than 50% of the team. Let's say there are 10 members, only 4 of the team members will be doing the toil like every day the same activity, or they will be performing the repetitive task. The rest all of the team members are, they mostly goes to the engineering work, and they mostly work on automating the things that the 4 members are doing. Okay, they plan to automate all the things so that the team can focus on more on the engineering work rather than performing the same task again and again. Okay, is it fine, guys? Okay. Excuse me. Okay, so so there are some real-time examples, right? So we need to understand what exactly um, you need to understand what exactly the meaning of toil, and this is nothing but when sometimes in asked in the interview questions in the interview round also, like what exactly the meaning of toil here. Okay, so if you can see here, um, the steps that we have mentioned in a toil, as we discussed earlier, is manually restarting on the hung server every night. You know that there is a service which is getting now having a problem, and every night you are restarting that service. That is nothing but a toil, correct? Copy pasting the same configuration changes whenever there you are introducing a new service or new changes. You are doing the same change again and again. It is nothing but a toil, right? Renewing all the certificates. Let's say it's a certificate renewal activity, so which had a scope of automation of renewing the certificate by using the uh, by using the Python or any tooling, any scripts, but your team is still doing the all the certificate part manually, correct? And manually scaling up the applet. Let's say, as we discussed in the first slide, right? If there is a kind of a Black Friday or any event for which we are expecting the increase in the traffic, and as a precautionary actions, if your team is manually increasing the increasing the servers, then it is nothing but a toil, correct? Now the interviewer in the interview, most of the sometimes we get a questions like, okay, if I am designing a new service, I'm designing a new architecture, is it a toil? So these kind of questions, cross questions will be asked. um, so why it is not toil? Because you are designing a new application, it's not a repetitive task, it's a kind of you are creating a new service from the scratch, correct? Second task is, let's say some of your team members are working on the automation part. Okay, so that is nothing but a automation part, it's not a toil. That's the thing that you are working to reduce the toil, you are automating that part, correct? um yeah, again, the judgment call during the incident. Let's say there is a uh, severity 1 or severity 2 level of incident where your senior or whoever is the SRE engineer is there. You need to take the call what to do. Shall we roll back the change, or shall we keep the change or deploy the fix? Here the judgment is required, correct? Based on, let's say, if the rollback takes 30 minutes of time, whereas if the new change is already in pipeline and it can be deployed quickly, and that will reduce the impact, and that can be done in 5 minutes. Here the human thinking is required, correct? So this is not a toil. correct? So there are some gray areas when while we consider while we have to calculate the toil and versus non-toil. So we have to be very precise while giving the answers in the interview. Some of them are like, as we know that they are expected a repetitive task. Judgmental calls need to be done. Judgmental where require the judgments, and uh, the things that does not comes into the non-toil things, that you have to be ready with some of the task. The interviewer might ask you in a interview round, like, okay, what are the repetitive tasks is done in your team? Okay, is there any scope that you can automate it? You have to be ready with one example of a toil management and a non-toil. Non-toil means what if you have done any kind of automation and how that has reduced your manual effort. You have to be ready with the one example of the toil. Understood?
Yeah, Santosh. So there is one generic question which I would like to ask.
Yeah, go
So
ahead.
yeah, what I understood is something. If we consider SRE as a team, okay. For example, if I consider 6 members in a SRE team, if
Mhm.
this understanding is correct, then I'm going forward. There can be team, right? I mean SRE team, right?
Mhm.
Okay. So considering the entire day of that SRE team, so is this something correct? I mean, 2 members who can work on this, I mean, SLO part, maybe 2 members who can, just in case that there would be any severity 1 or severity 2 or priority 1 or 2 incident, that can they can work on that part, and 2 members they can work on the automation, or
Yeah.
member can work on the automation, or 1 member can, maybe like you said, toil and non-toil part. So is this
Yeah.
understanding something correct?
Ideally, yes, this is the understanding,
Okay.
but
Okay.
again, it depend upon the work culture.
Mm.
It varies as per the organization. Let's say
Okay.
for me, the automation part, the toil management part, right, as we discussed. If
Mm.
everything, most of the things, like if you consider about the Google, there are many things that have already been automated. So there is no scope for further automation. So my scope will be on mostly focusing on the implementing what all other things that I can implement. Have a better monitoring in place, better observability, correct? So my scope will change based on the whatever the available architecture that I have.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay.
ideally, yes, as you said, so some of the few of the members should be working on the toil management. Some of them should be working on the SLO part. Some of them should be working on the building a stable application that tracks the overall reliability of your application. Yes, ideally that is the main culture that SRE should be following.
Yeah,
And
and that sorry to cut you. So just in case if I am a part of SRA team, okay, and if I'm deciding there should be availability,
Mhm.
maybe 99.9%, okay. So with whom that I mean that is something I have decided, okay. So as a part of that, I need to convey to the team, or to whom I
Okay.
need to convey this, and I mean, on what basis my decision will be approved, and who
Yeah,
basically who approves that. So from that perspective, if you can, yeah.
correct. That's where the service owner comes into picture. The
Okay.
service owner is nothing but they usually take the call. Okay, so
Mm.
there are, let's say, one application is critical one, severity one. Let's take an example of the payments.
Mm.
So whoever is the owner of the service, they need to come up with the numbers. Whatever the availability they want to make sure, whatever the SLA, SLO, and SLI. Okay,
Mm. Mm.
so they have to agree with that number. And as an SRE engineers, you have to prepare a certain dashboard or alerting so that
Mm. Okay.
whenever those applications have any issues, we need to make sure that our application is tracking that.
Okay. And the dashboard, you mean using monitoring tools or something like that, or on what
Anything.
basis we have to?
Monitoring can be anything. Let's say
Okay.
your application payments API, correct? Your
Mm.
if you notice that out of 1,000 requests, 0.1%, I mean, uh, how many failures you are accepting.
Mm.
So for that, you can prepare a script which will check in every, let's say, 30 minutes, number of transaction, number of failures. So that is where you can build an alerting part at the server level. Okay, and when it comes to the dashboard part, you can create run sessions, you can create a dashboard, right, on the server side, where you will be able to see if there are any number of failures increase in the 5xx error, number of increase in the 4xx trend. So we need to build such kind of dashboard as well to track the availability of the application, to track the SLOs. SLO here, what I mean to say SLO here is, the SLO is nothing but the objective that we set internally. It's not with the customer or the client.
Okay.
Okay, SLO is nothing but internal agreement that you set. For payment API, if I set up a SLO of 99.99, the overall SLA that I set for this application is with the customer is 99.95. It should be, your SLO should be higher than the SLI, SLA.
Okay. Okay.
And SLI are nothing but indicators that we will be discussing in tomorrow's sessions. We will go a deep dive into what exactly the SLI, SLO means. But yeah, so these are the core terminologies, toil and error budgets, right? So we'll be discussing further on these topics.
Yeah, and sorry if I'm asking one more
No,
question again.
no, it's, yeah.
Yeah, so you mentioned service owner. So is this something parallel to product owner or something like that? I did not get that part.
Yes, it's a product owner. I could say yes. It's the same to what the product owner's job is, but in this particularly for the service owner, they should be aware of end-to-end architecture of the application. Okay, how their application is performing, what are the API calls, what are the critical endpoints, right? What are the status codes that they are maintaining for their applications? All these things. All these things.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, got it. Thanks. Thanks.
So guys, as I discussed, like you have to come up with your own, right, details, or you have to create your own story, real world use case while you are preparing for the SRE interviews. The usually question will be again related to the toil management only. If you have worked on any kind of automation part in your current company, or in past, if you have worked that has reduced the manual effort to the automation part. So this is one of the tasks, and this is like real time example that uh, if you have done on the certificate part, you can go with the same similar kind of uh, yes, use case you can explain. Now let's say in this use case you can see um, there are multiple domains. Let's say in an application, let's say I would say in this use case you can see 65 plus domains. That means 65, let's say consider the 65 domains means 65 DNS URLs are there, and all these domains are public one, for which you need to renew the certificate, okay, on schedule. And all these certificates are expiring on different time. They do not expire on the same date. All 65 certificates have their own expiry dates. Now if you see before the toil, what exactly was the activity the team used to do? They used to track all the expiry every day. They need to run the script on all 65 domains, right? And whenever there is a expiry, prior to that, they need to reach out to the certificate authority team for the latest certificate. They need to do it by hand, like there is no process involved. Now when they receive the certificate, every time they need to renew the certificate, and they need to validate all these things. And if they miss any certificate, it's a kind of a production outage, correct? Now when it comes to the automation part, what you can explain this. Now you see here 3 full-time equivalent. I said here 3 full-time equivalent. That means for it's the work of full 3 engineers. For them it is complete 1 day work, like 3 engineers are working for a complete day. Whereas if you see after the automation, 0.2 full-time equivalent, that means only 20 minutes of a day that a full-time employee need to spend to perform this activity. Why? Because you have prepared a script for the auto renewal part that will perform the renewal part automatically, and it does the deployment process as well using the CI/CD pipeline. And you have alerting in place where you are checking the domain health. all the time. You are running, let's say, some heartbeat alert you have configured that runs in every seconds or every 5 seconds. So that covers the monitoring part. Again, so now you have reduced the overall manual effort from 3 equivalent full-time employees to only 20 minutes a day for a single employee. That is nothing but, if you see at the end of the second slide, like 93% of the toil is eliminated. That means you have reduced 93% of the manual effort in your process or in your project. So this is one of the world case example, real life world case example that you can explain. So you have to better come up with your own example. So this is again going to be your task for this coming week. You will have to uh, come up with a story or a use case where your team is still working on some automation or manual effort. And if it is already done, then it's well and good. You can straight away update your resume with the whatever the future of the prior I mean the toil management, and how you have done the automation and how it has improved your overall life cycle of in your organization. Okay, so this will help when there are some questions, real-time questions about the toil management when the interviewer asks such kind of questions. Okay. Any questions, guys?
And a minimum, how many such scenarios we would generally need to prepare? For example, if someone is giving an interview for 3+ year or 4+ years of SRE experience, just for example, I'm asking.
Yeah.
So is it something that it is expected that he or she has worked on 5 or 6 toy scenarios or something like that, just in case? I mean, as per your experience, I'm asking. It's not like that.
Yeah,
I understood from the overall.
Correct.
Yeah.
See, from the interviewer's point of view, I would say prepare at least 2 use cases. Okay. But make sure that you should be able to answer end to end rather than preparing 9 to 10. And if the interviewer asks any cross question, like if you are not able to answer it, okay, what exactly you have done, how it is done internally, how you are making sure that this auto renewal certificate is being renewed properly or not, how you are checking the post deployment process, you should be able to answer all these things. Then I would say go for only 2 use cases rather than going for more than like preparing for 19 use cases. It's not going to help. It's more than the interviewer would like to know what exactly you have done and how it is done rather than how many automation you have done. If you are able to explain 1 or 2 use cases properly, that should be sufficient.
Okay.
Yeah.
And should it be including some Kubernetes or Docker or
Anything,
anything should be fine, right? I mean,
anything.
even if I'm scheduling or one script only, so that would be considered as a tool, right? I
Correct,
mean,
correct.
okay,
See,
fine.
wherever you are saying, I have this examples over here. So some of the example I have separated out. Okay, so wherever you see that the manual efforts are required, right? And you are automating that, or you are doing the automation to reduce the manual effort. It's a kind of eliminating the toil.
Okay.
So if you are, and I would say go with your, with the skill or the tech stack that you are actively using. Okay, if you are not good with the monitoring part, okay, let's say you are not good in the PromQL, and you explain something about that in the interview, and if the interviewer asks something different PromQL queries, and if you are not able to answer that, again, it's kind of you are setting up a wrong impression, correct? But if you are good in Kubernetes, if you are good in Linux, you are good in networking, troubleshooting the issues, then go for it. Whatever the things that suitable for you, and if you are able to explain it at least for 10 minutes, then you should go for that approach. If you are not good with any of this, then it's better to spend some time, prepare 1 or 2 use cases thoroughly in detail, so that all the use cases, all the type of questions, if let's take an example of this again, certificate renewal. Okay, The interviewer will ask a basic question: what is SSL? What is one-way SSL? What is two-way SSL? Now, instead of preparing 10 use cases for the toil elimination, if I prepare certificate part properly, I will be able to answer it all the questions, correct, related to the certificate. Provided whatever the scenarios that you are going to explain, provided you should be able to know end to end. Like if you give an example about the Kubernetes, you should be able to explain what all kind of issues that you get into the Kubernetes. What happens when IAM OEM kill issues? What happens when you see crash loop backstate, right? So all these things you should be able to explain when you are giving the use case example, use case of Kubernetes related things. Similarly, like any automation part, if you are giving the example of the shell scripting, I have done this using the shell scripting that automates every 5 minutes, every 10 minutes. Then you should be good with the shell scripting. The interviewer might ask, okay, can you please write a shell script for, let's say you have implemented for CPU utilization. Can you do it for the disk space? Then you should be well enough to write a shell script based on the requirement.
Okay.
Got my point, right? So this is how the interview is going to be, because they are not going to ask you how many automations you have done. They will go, okay, because it's not kind of any organization will have a number of things to automate, and you single-handedly handle all these things in when you join the company, and everything is automated. It's not a real-time examples, right? That can be it's better you go with the proper example and what really that you have worked on and how that reduced. That may not be as good as, like here you can see full time equivalent 2.2. It may not be that eliminating the toil, but even if you say I have reduced the 30% of the toil, that should also be sufficient for the interviewer to understand if you really know what exactly the toil elimination means.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hope I have answered your question.
Yes.
Okay. So as we say, so see, there are some examples while doing the audit. So let's say there is a company like ABC. Now we need to see what all kind of things that can be automated. What exactly the task is, how much time the team is spending, times per week. Is it a manual work or it can be automated? Okay. So if you see the first task, restarting the memory leaking service nightly. So every night, if let's say the team is working on this part and bi-weekly they are performing 3.5 hours. So it's a manual work, right? Can that be automated? Yes, because this can be, if you can prepare a script that can automatically, if it's check the memory size and based on that, it will take the call of restarting the service, can be automated. So similarly, you have to prepare such task, one or two tasks for your own prep, SRE prep. Okay. Got it. Experience with the SRE areas. Okay. How can I come up with these use cases? That is absolutely fine. See, if you do not have any idea about toil management, you may not able to see. It's if you are able to for the SRE, it's kind of for the entry level, they may not go into the in depth of what all the toil elimination part, or they may not ask you, because let's say if you have joined SRE team recently, you with the, let's say, intermediate experience, you do not have the senior levels of experience. They may not go to till depth of this like what all kind of toil elimination that you have done. But what I would say, you it's a better, like we can discuss such use cases if you can. Okay, it's a good point that you have raised, because yeah, many of us like might not have worked on this part, but definitely we have to prepare these use cases as well.
Yeah, Santosh, if you could include 2 use cases at least.
Yeah.
So that would be really good. This HTTPS is certificate management. Even I have seen many times. I have struggled. Even
Correct.
I myself have struggled to do this. So just in case from any technology, even if simple, it should be simple SSH or maybe I don't know. So maybe if you can cover any 2 use cases, that would be really helpful. Maybe one with Kubernetes, one with depends
Absolutely.
on the audience poll. Yeah.
Absolutely, I can do that. I can do that. Yeah, sure. We'll cover that part then. We will have a complete scenario to manual effort and how the toil can be eliminated here. And yeah, we will discuss like interview ready scenarios. Okay, I will come up with that plan, and we will discuss that part thoroughly. I'm just let me note that down, guys.
So, so may I know in your current project how you're handling the certificate renewal part? Because we can't do a manually, right? As you said. So, what are the steps you are doing for automating that one?
Yes, yeah, Krishna. So this one, right, to reduce the toil management for this certificate part. So currently, what we have done is like as of now, like we have implemented, we have written couple of script that runs on all the 65 domains. So where the servers are configured, right? I just the script will log into those servers. It will uh, read the certificate file, the JKS files. It will find out what's the expiry date, and if the expiry is less than 15 days, it will send an email alert. Now this is nothing but like we have reduced it the task of checking the certificate every day manually. Correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Now when it comes to the automation part, right? So as of now, like there are many tools in market like which take care of the process of renewal part, right? There are key tools, and by using which you can straight away, you no need to write a JKS key tool queries. You simply directly use those tools and straight away import your um, what you can say the certificates, right? And that will renew the certificate. And the deployment part, whereas like when the certificate is ready, you just have to give the number of you just have to raise a single CR that will take care of the complete deployment. You got my point, right? So now what we have done, every day the team used to check the domain name, the expiry date of the certificates, correct? Installation part and validation part. What we have done, we have prepared a script, or we have automated to check the renewal of the certificate, to check the expiry of the certificate. So that has reduced the toil, correct? Another part, the installation of the certificate using the CI/CD, and third part, the validation part, nothing but the monitoring. How you are doing the monitoring? Again, you have done the automation, you have prepared this, you have written a script that will every day or every 5 minutes, the script will run. It will check the it will hit the endpoint. It will check the response. If it is 2xx, then we are good. If it is not, then there is the issue with your certificate. It will again check the certificate expiry. Based on the scenarios, we can write a script.
Okay, got it.
So this is how you should be able to explain in your organization. So yeah, definitely I will cover one or two toil elimination use cases in detail, how that can be implemented, and yeah, we will discuss that part.
Yes, sure. So because the certificate plays a major role, right? Because in my current project, I have a task for next week to automate the certificate. So I took like SAN, the list of domain that is behind the
Okay.
thing.
Okay.
So I started working on that one. So I thought
Is a
maybe
SAN
I'll be getting
certificate?
some.
Okay. Is it a SAN certificate?
Yeah. Behind every domain, there will be multiple SAN, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So the types of like there are wildcard and SAN. So okay, I was just curious to know which certificate you're using. Okay, fine, fair enough. So okay, guys. So what we'll do, we'll wind up today's session with this MCQ questions. So just go through it. We will discuss about the answers in the next slide. So yeah, and if you have any other questions regarding that oil, please let me know. We will discuss it further.
Do share this this one this slide, okay, to
Yeah.
everyone. Okay?
Yeah. I will be doing it right away.
And
Post
share
this
with
session.
everyone. Okay.
Yes, Shubham. Absolutely. So Shubham, we will
We can wrap now. Yeah. It was quite interesting.
Yeah, thank you.
So thank you so much, guys, for joining. Okay. So guys, we'll share the one feedback form, okay, to in the group, okay. Do share the feedback, okay, because we want this complete this SRE to be very strong, full of information, full of outcome driven, okay, so that whatever the goal you are looking for, you can able to achieve it, right? So do share the feedback as well. I will share the form right away in the group, okay, the community group. Please do share that. Thank you so much, everyone, to join. We will have a session again for tomorrow at same time at 11 o'clock. Thank you so much, the Santosh. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
So Shubham,
I will share the Rohit. I will share this PPT. Don't worry about that. I will share that.
So Shubham, any separate WhatsApp group created for this bootcamp or any only, I mean, the
I
current
will
one?
create one separate classroom for this. All the
Okay.
resources will be added there. Okay. Interview,
Okay.
mock interview, anything, recording and everything will be there. Okay. We'll share
Okay.
that. Okay.
Okay. Would it be WhatsApp or you will be creating
No.
on
Classroom. Everything is
Classroom. Okay. That would be better. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Take
Thank
care.
you.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.